It should have been a normal morning. Sunlight spilled over the fields, the sheep grazed quietly, and my ranch, spanning over 1,500 acres, buzzed with the familiar rhythm of life. That is, until I received the news. The HOA had demolished my home. The official reason, of course, was violation of community standards, a term Karen wielded like a weapon. But to me, it felt like an attack on everything I had built, every memory, every ounce of effort I had poured into creating a home and a sanctuary for my family. I drove to the site, my stomach twisting with dread. The sight was worse than I imagined. Walls reduced to rubble, windows shattered, personal belongings scattered and destroyed. The HOA's bulldozers had left no trace of the house except the foundation. I stood there, stunned, as Karen's smug email echoed in my mind. Consider this a reminder that the HOA enforces standards. For a moment, I simply absorbed the loss. Then clarity struck. This wasn't just about property, it was about principle. Karen had overstepped, violating property rights, and I was determined to respond in a way that would be unforgettable. But unlike her, I didn't act rashly. I planned strategically. My first step was assessing the resources at my disposal. My ranch had one of the most advanced water systems in the region, supporting over 1,500 sheep. Every pond, stream, and irrigation line was under my control. If Karen thought she could harass me with impunity, she hadn't considered the consequences of messing with someone who could impact her operations as easily as she had impacted mine. I began with subtle measures, small diversions in water flow, slight reductions in supply to areas that wouldn't harm the environment but would affect efficiency. Then I escalated. Using the full capabilities of my water infrastructure, I cut off access to the HOA's 2,000 cow ranch that relied on the same regional supply lines. Within hours, their operations were disrupted, and the staff scrambled to identify the source of the problem. The contrast was stark. While I had lost a home, I had retained control of resources critical to their livelihood. Karen predictably erupted. Phone calls, emails, and threats poured in from her and the HOA board. But each attempt to escalate was met with legal and technical precision. I had meticulously documented every action, ensuring compliance with local laws, environmental codes, and property rights. Even the most aggressive of her threats had no leverage. Word of the standoff spread quickly through the community. Neighbors began taking sides, with many quietly admiring my strategic approach. Some who had previously feared Karen's influence now approached cautiously, acknowledging that her power was not absolute. Meanwhile, Karen's frustration became palpable. Her previous victories, the demolitions, the petty inspections, were meaningless in the face of a measured, lawful counterstrike. The water cutoff lasted just long enough to send a message without causing lasting damage. By the time the HOA realized the situation, their operations had already been disrupted, and they understood that their unilateral actions could have far-reaching consequences. It was a lesson in power, planning, and the importance of respecting property rights. In the aftermath, I began rebuilding my home, stronger and more fortified than before. The incident became a turning point, not only in my ongoing feud with Karen but also in the neighborhood's perception of authority. The lesson was clear. Attempting to assert dominance through destruction and intimidation only works if the other party is unprepared. If you combine patience, strategy, and a deep understanding of your resources, even the most overbearing aggressor can be humbled. Karen eventually realized that her overreach had consequences she hadn't anticipated. The HOA's attempt to assert control had backfired spectacularly, leaving her frustrated and isolated, while I had reclaimed not only a sense of justice but also the upper hand in the ongoing struggle for autonomy. My ranch thrived once again, and every blade of grass, every grazing sheep, and every flowing stream became a testament to resilience, strategy, and the enduring principle that property rights cannot be trampled without consequence.